Greetings for the day. Welcome to another session of Cyber Law and Ethics. My name is Mohammad Rahmat Ali. In today's session, we are going to see in detail part of our second unit, which include introduction to cyber security regulation. And in the further part, we are going to see about the what you call as the computer forensics and digital forensics. But before going into today's topic, let me revise what are the things that we have studied in the previous session. In the previous session, we have got a brief idea of what actually second unit is all about. We studied about we have got an overview of what cyber security regulations are, what actually is what you call as cyber forensics, what is digital forensics, what is evidence, and what are the ways by which we can get the evidence. So in today's session, we are going to study about the introduction to cyber security regulation. So what are the regulations with reference to the cyber security? So what it says, there have been attempts to improve cyber security through regulations and collaborative efforts between the government and the private sector to encourage volunteer improvements to cyber security. Now what do you mean by this? See, as the time is passing and the day after the day, there are a lot of security threats, security blockages, and different mechanisms by which people are trying to bypass or compromise the security. Now, to maintain a control over cyberspace, there should be a rules and regulation which should also be improved at day-to-day things by which the data can be made very much more secure. For an example, for an instance, if at all if you see in your mobile phone, if at all you have kept a passcode and I have seen that passcode, can I open that particular mobile phone? Yes, I can open that particular mobile phone, but you may not be knowing that particular thing. So you might be in a position that whenever I unlock the what you called as the mobile phone, I should get a notification the same way you got a notification when you open a bank account or make a transaction. So these are some of the regulations that is been done, or like these are some of the example by which different regulations are into be what you call as into force by which we can improve the cyber security levels and cyber space. Industry regulation, which including banking regulators, have taken a notice of the risk from cybersecurity, have either begun or plan to begin to include cybersecurity as an aspect of regulatory examination. Now, see, this is a major part banking sector and online shopping places. These are the two places wherein the cyber attackers or the criminals attacks the most, because bank is a place wherein it was very difficult in olden days or in the previous times to loot a bank, but it's very easy. Now you might be listening that this bank has been hacked for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 seconds, 50 seconds, 20 seconds, and there is a loss of millions and billions of dollars, etc. of things. What happen in that time? The people does not transfer the money at that instance. What they do is sorry, they will take the username and passwords of individuals and they will transfer the amount at the later part of the time. So as soon as any of the bank is been hacked, the first thing the bank people says is to change your passwords. If at all any of the bank is been traced or any of the bank is been bypassed or it has been compromised, the first thing the bank people say is to change your password. Why? Because the the file in which your username password was there is being traced by the attacker. Now what did the attacker do? Attacker will put your name and password. If at all if I change the password, then my password is different for my password is different which the hacker is having, so he cannot log in. So in this way, banking sector and banking regulation and online people, these are two people who are being affected the most, and they are planning to have a separate team which will monitor all of these transactions and which will manage all of the what do you call as these faces, and they will see that no person is being attacking this particular bank website, or there is no attacks in different means, whether it can be a denial of services, whether it can be with reference to malware, or it can be with reference to anything, or it can be with reference to any of the unregistered devices being plugged in the system or in the bank. So this all has been different regulations and different regulatory things is to be done. Now, what are the cyber security regulation? It says a cybersecurity regulation compromises directive that safeguard information technology and computer system with the purpose of forcing companies and organizations to protect their system and information from cyber attacks like viruses, worms, Trojan horse, phishing, denial of services attacks, unauthorized access, like which means stealing intellectual property or confidential information, and control system attacks. Now, what do you mean by this? This means, see, uh, anybody who is trying to compromise the system in any of the format of introducing the virus, like I have told you, virus can come from any of the places. So that is the reason why most of the bank does not allow any of the other websites to open on their system except their software. Why? Because they don't allow any of the application to run on that particular system apart from their particular application. Why? Because if at all they are visiting any of the other websites apart from their own application, there is a chance that that particular website might inject some virus or worms onto that system, so that this application will not work properly, or this application will give some of the access to that particular attacker. What are the attacks that can have? The first one is with reference to the viruses, worms, Trojan horses, phishing, and with reference to the denial of services, like we have studied about phishing and spear phishing in the previous thing, also with reference to the denial of services. Now, what can be in denial of services? The denial of services can be in this way: the bank people are trying to open that particular application, but it's not opening. Why? Because that denial of services attack has made that system compromise in such a way it is not allowing that application to run on that particular thing. It is, like it is making in a queue, so that other systems can get executed, other applications can get executed, which is been an attack from an attacker. Now the next one is with reference to unauthorized access. Now, unauthorized access doesn't mean that there will be an external attacker. See, attackers can be internal and attackers can be an external attacker also. Now, who will be an external attacker? External attacker can be any other third person who is trying to steal information, or it can be anyone. Like these people can be caught very easily. But with reference to the internal attacker, for example, me being a faculty of a college of the college trying to access the information of HOD, like my responsibility is just to give the marks, but HOD can edit the marks. He can improve, or like he can increase the marks, or he can decrease the marks, or he can put the same marks, or he can consider other things to add the marks. But what I'm trying to do is, like, I am trying to edit that particular marks, but I don't have got the ID, like access to that particular thing. So this is what you call as unauthorized access. This particular thing is called as unauthorized access. It can be internal, also it can be external. This includes stealing intellectual properties or confidential information. And the last one is the control system attack, which means I will be targeting the system and I will be attacking on that particular things. For example, my office timing is from morning 8 to evening 4. The attacks will be in between these time limits only. Whenever I'm trying to access any of the things, it is slowing down that particular application, or it is not giving the access. So after trying multiple times, then it is giving me an access. So this is one of the type of control system attacks. There can be a number of things. Now the next point it says is cybersecurity measures includes firewall, antivirus software, intrusion detection and prevention systems, and encryption and login passwords. Now the first one is with reference to the firewall. You all know what firewall is, and also with reference to the antivirus software, the different antivirus software that we are having, and different what we call as total security virus. So sorry, total security antiviruses, internet security viruses, and system security antiviruses. All of these things are you know very well. Now the next one is with reference to the intrusion detection and prevention system. Now this is very important. What do you mean by this intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system? This means intrusion detection in the sense, the whenever the system is getting attacked, you will be getting a warning, or whenever the system is getting compromised, you will be getting a message that this particular system is about to be compromised. So that is what we call as intrusion detection. It is detecting the system in such a way that an unauthorized person is trying to access that particular system. Like I have told you, my office timing is from morning 8 to evening 4. If at all, if I try to access that particular system at 6 o'clock in the evening or 12 o'clock at the night, at that instance it will give me an error that intrusion detected by this particular person at this particular time, at this particular instance. So this is what we call as intrusion detection. Now with reference to the intrusion prevention, it prevents the attack prior. For example, it is well known that at this particular time of period of time, like from night 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, this is the mean time where nobody will be using the system. So I will trying to intrude into that particular system, so it will get an idea that this is the time wherein an attacker can attack. So before the attacker attacks, it will not allow the attacker to intrude into that system at that particular instance. For an example, if you try to withdraw the money between 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, or if at all if you try to transfer the money online from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, you will not be able to do that particular thing. Why? Because it is not allowing, it is preventing any of the transaction to happen at that particular time. Why? Because if at all if any of the transaction happens, it will disturb all of the other transactions. So it is preventing that particular transaction not to happen. Now there is a lot of difference between intrusion detection and intrusion prevention. These are two terms which are different, and it has got a different meaning, and you should understand and you should have a clear understanding between these two terms. Detection is used after the incident happens. Prevention is a mechanism like which will prerequisitely understand or prerequisitely have an idea that at this particular time it is going to happen, and it will not allow that particular system to intrude into the system. So this is the difference between intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system. The next one is with reference to the encryption, and the last one is with reference to the login passwords. Now the next one, it says in 2011 the DoD released a guidance called the Department of Defense Strategy for Operating in Cyberspace with articulated 5 goals. And the first one is with reference to treat cyberspace as an operational domain, to treat this particular thing as an operational domain. The second one is to employ new defense concept to protect DoD network and systems. Department of Defense, DoD means Departments of Defense. Third one is with reference to partner with other agencies and private sector in pursuit of a whole of government cybersecurity strategy. The last one is with reference to work with international allies in support of collective cybersecurity and to support the development of cyber workforce capable of rapid technological innovation. So these are the 5 what you called as the operation articulated for the Department of Defense strategy for operating in cyberspace. So these are the 5 points that is being indicated over here. The next one is with reference to the Indian cyberspace. With reference to the Indian cyberspace, it says, in the light of the hacking of website of the Indian Space Agency commercial arm in 2015, Antrix Corporation and Government Digital India Program, a cyber law expert and advocate at Supreme Court of India, Pawan Duggal, stated that a dedicated cyber security registration as a key requirement for India. Now, India is taking up different methods and different what you call as things to improve cyber security people. That only the reason that cyber security has been introduced as a subject in universities, so that the university students can learn and can be well aware of what's happening and what are the different mechanisms and what are the different methods by which these things happen, so that you all can pursue a career in this particular thing and can serve this particular country. Next one is with reference to, it is not efficient to it is not sufficient to merely put cyber security as a part of an act. We have to see cyber security not only from the sectoral perspective but also from the national perspective. So this is with reference to the Indian cyber space. Now, with reference to the European Union, what it says, cybersecurity standards have been of great prominence in today's technology driven business. To maximize their profit, corporations leverage technology by running most of their operation by internet. Since there is a large number of risks at internetwork operation, such operation must be protected by comprehensive and extensive regulation. Now what it says further, existing cybersecurity regulations all cover different aspects of business operation and often vary by region or country in which a business operates. Further, because of difference in country, society, infrastructure and value, one overarching cyber security standard is not optimal for decreasing risk. While US standards provide a basis for operation, the European Union has created more tailored regulation for business operating specifically within the European Union. Also, in the light of Brexit, sorry, it is important to consider how the UK has chosen to adhere to such security regulation. So this is with reference to the European Union. I hope you understood something in today's session, and I guess you got an idea with reference to what are the infrastructure and regulations with reference to cyber securities. If at all if you have any doubt, please ping me at rem_ledu@radio.com, or we can have a common doubt clarification session. Thank you for listening. See you in the next session. Until then, take care. Bye bye.